games in a row for the first time in 4 years. Final score 38-10. Coming up next, the State Farm postgame show. For James Lofton, this is Andrew Catalon saying so long from Indianapolis, where the Colts roll it up on the Titans 38-10. At this moment, we go to our friend James Brown in New York.
So the Indianapolis Colts get it done. 4-game win streak they've got going. Andrew Luck, 7th straight game with 3 or more touchdowns in the season, passing touchdowns. They are indeed on a roll as we welcome you back inside of Studio 43. Boomer, Nate, Coach, and Phil. Coach, talk about Indianapolis.
I mean, what can you say? The 4th straight win. Andrew Luck is 7th straight game with 3 more touchdown passes, and a defense that is absolutely swarming and making plays. And they got a running game to go with it. There's a lot of different weapons they have. T.Y. Hilton steps up today. Last week was Eric Ebron. They've got, Jack Doyle. And then you talk about a backfield of Naheem Hines and Marlon Mack. I mean, go down the list in this offensive line. And Kelly went out in that injury. Hopefully it's not that bad. But it's a team that's right now, I mean, they're gelling.
Yeah, protecting Andrew Luck has been key. You mentioned that streak, and it started 7 games ago. When he started to heat up, we said, okay, but what is this team's identity? And then they start passing the ball so well. Phil, me and you talk all the time about judging guys when they're banged up. Andrew Luck's been banged up for so long, finally healthy. T.Y. Hilton, a little banged up. This guy comes in, he looks healthy. 9 catches for $155 and 2 TDs. It shows right there when these guys are healthy and on the field, absolute playmakers.
Guys, I got to tell you, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because of the synergy between Frank and Andrew. These guys are like carbon copies of one another. They're both extremely bright. Frank has told me over and over and over again how great Andrew Luck is to coach as a coach. And I think Bruce Arians has said it, that Andrew Luck was the best quarterback he ever coached. So it's like the perfect storm. 2 guys coming together. Frank knows the position because he played it. And Phil, I don't know how many times you said it. Look at the problems that Philadelphia is having offensively, and why is that? Their offensive coordinator is now the head coach and play caller for the Indianapolis.
Well, a lot of reasons, yeah, but that's one of them. And when you watch Indianapolis Colts, first thing, all these high draft picks, it just shows you what coaching means. All these high draft picks on the offensive line, Quentin Nelson this year, it's finally come together. And I watch a lot of stuff and a lot of tape. But the Colts are doing things on offense that nobody else is doing in the league, and they're catching people by surprise also.
Why is that?
Frank Reich's designing the plays.
And they got a quarterback that can handle it.
Yep.
Right. Well, speaking of a quarterback who can handle, the backup quarterback in Washington is getting it done, Colt McCoy. That's because Alex Smith went down. Bad injury to his ankle. We're going to take it to that contest. Houston at Washington. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.
Deshaun Watson. And this 7th straight win ties the longest streak in franchise history. Houston a winner by a score of 23-21 for Trent, for Melanie, for all of us here in Washington. Back to JB in New York.
All right, Greg, we're going to take your audience now to the game. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. Jacksonville on top by 3. 15 seconds left in regulation. Steelers with the ball. Let's join the announcers. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
The New York tabloids have Eli Manning skating on thin ice, but it's Bucs quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick in the spotlight here. Janoris Jenkins, Alec Ogletree team up from acrobatic pick, 15-yard score. It's no magic for Fitzpatrick, but a fascinating photo op for the G-Men.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is the State Farm postgame show.
And welcome back inside Studio 43 and the State Farm postgame show. And a reminder, up next, CBS Sports Spectacular Gamers' Choice Awards nomination special presented by Overpowered. It's a preview of the first ever fan-voted award show celebrating the world of gaming and esports. That's coming up next right here on CBS as we welcome you back inside of Studio 43 and a full house as we get you caught up on all of the action from the early games.
Well, here's a game down in Jacksonville, a game that Jacksonville dominated for the first 3 quarters, but in the 4th quarter, you can see Ben Roethlisberger is going to find Vance McDonald in the back of the end zone. A big catch. That was Ben's 2nd touchdown of the day. Also threw 3 interceptions. And then right here, you can see 50 seconds ago, this was a big play that set itself. This next one, that is to Antonio Brown, who also had over 100 yards receiving. Ben Roethlisberger was supposed to be a shovel pass, but he takes it on his own, dives over. He will get the touchdown, and they will then pull out this victory from the grasp of defeat right there as they win 20-16. Again, it was all in the 4th quarter for Ben, 300 yards thrown, but he did have the 3 interceptions. And the offense of the Jaguars went very, very dormant in the 4th quarter.
All right, Bill, staying in the AFC North.
That's right, JV. It's the Bengals and the Ravens. Check this out. Andy Dalton, he's looking for the speedy wide receiver, John Ross, on the sideline. 22-yard touchdown right there. Gets a little toe drag. And here we are, handing it off to Gus Edwards. He runs in for 11 yards. It's in the 3rd quarter here. 21-21, 2-point conversion, good. And here's Andy Dalton on the last stand. Pass intended for Cody Core, broken up by Marlon Humphrey. And how about that? The Baltimore Ravens, they get the dub, 24-21. Lamar Jackson, he rushes for 27 attempts, 117 yards. He becomes the Ravens' first 100-yard rusher this season.
All right, Nate, and of course you would expect that would be the case. A jubilant Ravens locker room after the game.
How about that? 268 yards rushing. Defense. Oh, they want to throw a fade on 2nd or 3rd down the left sideline. Think they're going to make a big play over Jimmy Smith. Incomplete. Good. 4th down. Reed calls Cable. All out blitz. They get all nervous. Got to call timeout. Good. 4th and, was it 8? 4th and 3. That's right, because they called the timeout. 4th and 3. We call. What we call? Cover 1. What we do? One double 83. Man coverage across the field. They want to throw a stop. They want to push up. Was it Jimmy Smith over there? No. More than half. You want to throw at number 29 when the game's on the line. Good. Yeah.
Hey, guys, these AFC North games today, they were
good. No question about it. Bill, you had to appreciate the enthusiasm of Coach Harbaugh.
Enthusiasm? You think he's got a chip on his shoulder?
Oh, my gosh. I think that speech was directed in a lot of different directions.
No question about it. No, great.
I think Lamar Jackson basically may have saved his job. I don't know, but to have Lamar Jackson running that many times, he's not going to last very long. He's got to learn to slide. But how about this game ball right here? Give it to the young man right there, Lamar Jackson, who just had an absolutely spectacular day.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know how long this can last, that many rushing attempts. And you're going to see it right here, using his legs in so many different ways right there. He drops back. It's almost like a designed run where he has a lead blocker in front of him. But he's going to check it out, and then he puts his foot in the ground. And those moves right there, that's what makes him special. Of course, you got to take care of the ball. But you have to respect it either way. If you're a defense facing him, you knew he's going to go into this game with the ability to rush right there. He fakes left, then he goes right. That's almost a designed power run to the right side for your quarterback. Here he is, eyes upfield, delivering a beautiful ball on the sideline. And you'll take a little bit of the bad with plays like that because you know that he can make some plays. But 117 yards, that's the most rushing yards by a QB in his first career start. So, guys, we know what to expect from his career moving forward.
We'll see how it all develops for him athletically. But he is a class kid. And after the game, it was our Steve Tasker talking with Lamar Jackson.
Congratulations on your rookie start as a quarterback in the NFL. What was the one thing you felt like you had to do today?
To win the game. You know, that was my job to go out there today with those guys. You know, we had the bye week. Came out the bye week strong. We worked hard at it. We came out with a victory. All right, blood, I'm at you, bro. Appreciate that, bro.
You were in the hospital Thursday.
Yeah.
Tell us about that and how did that affect your preparation?
I'll let you.
Obviously, a lot of things going on here. Guys are a lot of happy. You've got to be really happy for you too. But how did that night in the hospital affect this week's preparation for this game?
I missed Thursday's practice. We had to go over a lot of things, you know, passing wise. I missed that, so I had to come back Friday and try to put, you know, much as I could in my mind, you know, to prepare for the game. And there's still a lot to work on. You know, we barely came out to win, but we did it. Yes, sir.
So Joe was hurt, maybe hurt going forward. It was close. It was close for Joe. Maybe trying to make it. He was on crutches early in the week. going forward, this might give you guys some confidence, maybe give Joe a chance to get 100% healthy before he bounces back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's a big key to the offense. You know, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, you know, he did so much this year, and it'll be good for him to come back strong.
All right, this win, 5-5, gets you right back into the conversation for going forward. What's this do going forward?
Just prepare harder. You know, we got another opponent next week. We just got to compete. That's all.
It's a big day. Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Good luck the rest of the way. All right, Lamar.
You know, Steve Tasser's just got to take control of the situation a little bit better, man. I mean, you got to control. Like,
hey, nice
what
pick,
man. Hey, man. Hey, thanks. Great game. Hey, thank you, buddy.
I know you
Good
picked
stuff.
the Ravens.
Yes,
sick, man.
I did. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But anyway, your thought was?
It hit me so hard. Well, first off, his excitement. The excitement of what we saw in the locker room, you could see them in a lot. Oh, my God.
Good shoulder.
Go.
Good job.
Thanks. Oh, my God.
All right, man. Good job, man. I'm really proud of you.
Hey.
Ticklish?
No. Dang.
You still on track?
I'm still on track.
Okay,
I'm going to finish this no matter what. You guys have to shut up. But, all right, can I talk?
You got it.
Boomer, don't you bring
I'm not coming over there.
Those big sausage fingers, I'll never recover for them. But the excitement in the locker room, there was so much to it. For the team, for Lamar Jackson, you can tell how much loved he is on the team. And to think that even if Joe Flacco's ready, he will not play next week, we know, just because of what we saw there. Now, can he do all that? If Joe Flacco was playing today, they probably would have scored the same amount of points. They just did it a different way. They're playing Jacksonville football, and they'll get more creative. And Lamar Jackson also throws on the run well. He will get better throwing the football in game action. You know, Boomer, throwing in game action, that's when you get good. It's not just in practice. So that was a great day for him.
I mentioned about him being a class kid and that observation on your point, the guys show the love and respect that they have for him.
Yeah, you know, and talk about the other quarterback that won today in an improbable win was really Ben Roethlisberger. You know, we talked to him after the game. He's like, you know, you did a great job carrying this team on your shoulders in that fourth quarter. But he kind of put him there because of the 2 interceptions that he threw earlier in the game and to his own admission. And I think this is one of those games. I don't think they win this a year ago. You know, I think the defense did what they had to do. I think they went a little conservative, even to the most degree, for the Jacksonville Jaguars in that fourth quarter. But the defense got the ball back for the offense, and they made the plays they had to make.
You know what? Tony Romo said it at the end of the game. One team has a Hall of Fame quarterback. He didn't say much about the other team's quarterback, but that's basically what happened in the fourth quarter. You take a look at some of these plays on the last drive. This is what winning quarterbacks do. I mean, he had a terrible game up until the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden, right down the sideline, Juju Smith-Schuster with a great catch. Here he comes again. Look at him moving around in the pocket, not getting crazy down the sideline. Unfortunately, James Conner drops that ball. But Ben Roethlisberger, by virtue of a couple of penalties, and this was a penalty right here, they called it a face mask, but basically it's holding because he grabs him by the helmet. That is a penalty. That is the correct call to be made right there. And then second chance opportunities. Ben still has what it takes to read a defense. He doesn't do the shovel pass, and he basically reaches over and breaks the plane to the goal line before his knee hits. So
pays to be a 9-foot-tall quarterback.
Well, it does, but take a look at these numbers. I mean, one side, even though he throws the 3 interceptions, at the end of the game is still on his shoulders, and he's still got to make the plays. Right. You know, they basically limited Blake Bortles today to 18 throws. I mean, you're not going to beat the Steelers if you're going to be throwing the ball 18 times. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not in this day and age. You got to be more offensive with the passing game, and Jacksonville just basically doesn't have that anymore.
And it spoke volumes to the play selection that they had in the third down play. They had right there to hand the ball off on a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah.
When you get 1 first down, you have a chance to win the game. I think that play selection spoke volumes about how they feel.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me at the end of the half against the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game last year. Doug Marrone, you know, just basically pulled it all in and said, we're gonna try.
This is how they built the team. Yeah. So that's why they ran it. So that's what they got. And you know what? The defense tired out today. That's what happened there. The other thing, real quick, and Nate, I'll go to you, that Ben Roethlisberger can have these games. He threw 5 interceptions against them last year. But he can do it and keep going because he has such credibility, and he's not afraid to go down in flames. In other words, Ben is one of the few guys that can throw 3 interceptions and keep chucking that ball and not worry about what happens.
And that's it. It's the highs and lows of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and the team. They've been dealing with Le'Veon Bell this whole season, finally shut the door on that. So 3 interceptions in the first half. James Conner not really getting going. And, of course, in the second half, them guys making the plays at the right time. This is what you want to see because this offense was rolling. For them to get this ugly, hard-fought win where Big Ben has to throw the ball 47 times, that speaks to what these guys have in Big Ben, and that's ultimate trust.
I tell you, I know Boomer, I don't know about you, but, after a couple interceptions, I got gun-shy. I was like, I couldn't pull that trigger, but Ben Roethlisberger.
And how many times had Jacksonville beaten Pittsburgh prior to this?
They beat them last year twice.
So the last 2 times they had each other, right? And they didn't have Le'Veon Bell, and the coaching staff and the team rallied around that.
Yes.
You know what? They put down the young fellows with the fact that he was still the Steelers. No question. All right, the State Farm postgame show will continue from here in Studio 43 after this.
Welcome to the show.
And welcome back to Studio 43 and the State Farm postgame show. And, folks, back to the highlights.
All right, JB, unfortunate injury in Washington as Alex Smith is going to get sacked right here by Kareem Jackson and J.J. Watt. He's going to break his right tibia and fibula. After the game, Jay Gruden, his head coach, said he needs emergency surgery on his leg. Now, Cole McCoy passed to Jordan Reed. And Houston is up 17-14 at this point. How about Adrian Peterson? How about the quicks right there to get outside? Washington takes a 21-20 lead. And now you hear Kaimi Fairbairn is going to be kicking a field goal right here. And then Dustin Hopkins is going to miss at the end. And Houston's going to hang on for a win. It's a huge win as they remain atop of the AFC South with a 7-3 record.
Wow. And they snap a 10-game road losing streak to the NFC, an NFC opponent in that victory there. So after the game, it was our Melanie Collins catching up with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun, congratulations on the win. And what a game. So many changes and momentum, ebbs and flows. How were you able to ultimately edge out the Redskins today?
We had to, try to stay focused. Try to put the bad plays behind us. Try to create something new. Try to create something good, positive for this team. And, it's tough to go on the road. They're the number one team in their division. We're number one team in ours. Coming on the road in a hostile environment like this against a great team. We pulled it out. It's NFL football in November, so all of them should be close.
You become just the second team in NFL history to win 7 straight games after starting the season 0-3. What has been the difference these last 7 games?
Dealing with adversity, blocking out the noise, and just focusing on that locker room. That's the main thing. We can't listen to what the outside noise is doing. We just got to grind. We know that every game is going to be tough, and we just got to, continue to have that focus and mindset.
All right, here we go. Tennessee and Indianapolis. Former Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne goes in the ring of honor. Peyton Manning there with him. But how about this throw? Andrew Luck over the top to T.Y. Hilton. What a throw. 68 yards and a touchdown. And again, Andrew Luck on the move. And on the sideline, look at T.Y. Hilton, a little toe dance. What do you call this, Nate?
Little toe drag flat.
Oh, man, was it ever. Just a beautiful throw. Rock, paper, scissors. And the Colts, I'm shocked by this game. The way they play, the way they protected. Awesome game by the Colts and Andrew Luck.
No catching Nate off guard, always razor sharp. And after the game, it was Andrew Catalan, James Lofton talking with Andrew Luck.
Andrew, congratulations on the victory. In this game, you were targeted more than Eric Ebron. What does it say about your offense that without Ebron, you can still put up 38 points?
That's a good stat line. Yeah, no, it's a deep group of guys, man. We got guys who can play. Certainly Eric does a heck of a job. And just because he's not getting the ball thrown to him a bunch, or really ever, I guess, in this game, doesn't mean he's not doing his part. He's taking 2-3 guys with him sometimes. He attracts a lot of attention, and everybody else step up. And, it's always fun to see T.Y. go off like that.
Andrew, have you ever played through a stretch like this where you've gotten this great protection while standing in the pocket?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it in that sense. I think as a team we're doing a great job of taking it one game at a time, and certainly the protection was awesome again. Hope Ryan's okay. He's doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job up front. And we know we can be better. We know we can be better. We got a great week ahead of us, and see what we can do.
That's 5 in a row where Andrew Luck has not been sacked. But how about this? Most consecutive games with 3 TD passes. Tom Brady obviously on top with 10. Then Peyton Manning. Then, of course, Dan Marino now tied by Andrew Luck as he joins Dan Marino as the third tied for 3 there. Excuse me. But I will say this. Andrew Luck is just in sync with his play caller, with his team, his offensive line, 3 first-rounders up there. playing awesome football right now. Their defense is flying around. Defense gets no love. Why? Because of Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton and everything else that's going on the offensive side of the ball. But Darius Leonard and this defense is flying all over the field, and they're making plays and getting turnovers.
You know, I just go back to the first time that the Houston played in Indianapolis and Frank Reich's decision to go for it in overtime, you know, because that could come back. Because I think right now what you're seeing is the surfacing of the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans in that division. And, you know, is there too much ground to make up? I don't know. But I think if we're talking about a team that's peaking at the right time, that is the Indianapolis Colts. Their defense is flying around. They're making plays, not beating themselves on offense, all the weapons they have right now. And we saw the Texans, what they're able to do, you know, with Deshaun Watson.
5 games, no sacks, Coach.
I know.
That's unbelievable in this day and age.
I can't wait to see that Houston, because Houston had 5 sacks again today going against the Washington team. So this is a team that can get after the quarterback. But I think these are the 2 teams right now that have kind of surfaced themselves in the AFC South.
Well, 6 of the last 7 games, no sacks. And then even when they were playing last week, you see them against Jacksonville and that great pass rush, no sacks. He was never really even hit in the game. It's not that he's not taking sacks. He's not like getting rid of the football, saving sacks. He's not even getting pressure. It's like watching Jared Goff play for the Rams. There's nobody around him when they throw the ball. So it's really impressive. Braden Smith, a rookie, playing right tackle. Costanzo Bennett, left tackle. And then Quentin Nelson at left guard, all high picks and playing very well.
Now, speaking of pressure, how about the Houston Texans dealing with the pressure of having a win streak after starting 0-3? And then defensively on their side of the ball, they're getting busy. They're getting pressure and creating pressure on the offensive quarterbacks that they've been facing. And check it out, they're just relentless. And, of course, Alex Smith, our thoughts and prayers are with you, man. We want you to heal up. But before he got banged up, they were collapsing that pocket, forcing Alex Smith to step up. And here it is. You see Colt McCoy trying to make something happen with his legs. J.J. Watt getting after him. Here he is once again, causing pressure to the left and Clowney coming from the right. What are you going to do when you're a quarterback facing his defensive line and you know you have to step up? Because if you don't, it's Watt and Clowney coming from either direction.
Did you see our eye vision today? Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
But it is. It's 3 stars really on the defense that can really make everybody else part of it.
And I tell you, the thing they've done, and we talked about this with the Seattle Seahawks, who won again on Thursday night, they've limited the amount of throws for Deshaun Watson, the amount of hits that he's taken. He's making plays. It then carries over to the defense. It's just fresher. Lamar Miller coming up with some big runs and some big first downs at critical times. And again, this is a deep team that's defense, run the ball, and got a resourceful quarterback.
The only reason Phil asked you if you remember the eye vision, he remembers because he said Coach was yelling at him.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Well, that was part of it.
The State Farm postgame show continues after this. Hey, folks, more college football headed your way Thanksgiving weekend. Friday, the SEC on CBS features Arkansas taking on Mizzou at 2:30 Eastern. And the action continues on Saturday with the 83rd Iron Bowl, Auburn battling top-ranked and undefeated Alabama at 3:30 Eastern right here on CBS. Back inside of the house, and these folks have been chapping at it all along during the commercial break. Highlights
in the NFC, JV. How about Ezekiel Elliott? He's going to take this right up the middle for a touchdown. Cowboys are going to take a 19-9 lead after this. This came off of a Matt Ryan interception. Then Matt Ryan's going to find Julio Jones. There's Jerry Jones. He's very happy. That's Stephen Jones' son. And there you go. Julio Jones down the sideline. Touchdown pass from Matt Ryan. This is 19-19. And then, of course, the Cowboys off a Brett Maher walk-off field goal. The Cowboys now are 5-5 with the Redskins lost today. They are now 1 game behind the Redskins, who are at 6-4, and unfortunately lost their starting quarterback, Alex Smith, earlier.
All right, staying in the NFC, we have some more highlights. The Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. Here go Curtis Samuel. I actually was with his father yesterday at a Brooklyn Pop Warner game. He said the more opportunities my son gets, the more plays he's going to make. And that was a play right there. TD pass for 12 yards. Here's Matt Stafford, though. Check out this corner route. What a catch right there for Kenny Golladay. 19 yards for the go-ahead TD. And here we are, Cam Newton trying to make something happen. He's looking in the back of the end zone. He finds DJ Moore for the 8-yard TD, but they could not complete the 2-point conversion. Instead of tying it up, they go for the win. He has all the time in the world. I say Cam Newton either make the throw or take off and run, but either way, the Panthers, they don't get this. The Lions, they hold on to a tight one, 20-19.
Ended a 3-game losing streak, as you mentioned.
Well, here we go. Let's watch the highlights. Tampa Bay at the New York Giants. Eli Manning sacked by his old teammate, Jason Pierre-Paul, who didn't want to hurt him, picks him up and says, man, Eli, you gave me a call when I got traded away, and he appreciates it. Eli Manning throws a pass to Odell Beckham Jr. Watch this. What a nice catch. Pulls it over the top. 8-yard touchdown. And then Saquon Barkley, big day by him, scores on a 2-yard run. The New York Giants win for the second time in a row, 38-35. And Eli Manning, how about that day? Saquon Barkley, a big day, and Odell Beckham Jr., 4 catches for 74 yards. And boy, it was up and down the field, exciting day. But Saquon Barkley, Eli Manning, and Odell Beckham Jr., they came through, and that's what the Giants offense, once again, pretty good play from the offensive line.
So talking about the NFC East.
Well, you take a look at the Redskins. We just said they lost Alex Smith for the season. They're 6-4 right now. The Cowboys are rolling. That's 2 in a row. Here's the injury to Alex Smith. It's not pretty, folks, so I'm going to warn you. But he has 2 guys falling on him, and his foot unfortunately gets caught underneath him. And you have a tibia and fibula break, and he's going to have surgery here shortly if he's not in surgery already. The Cowboys are 5-5. As you can see, J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless and everybody else, and Alex Smith basically reacting to the crowd, cheering for him as he gets taken off on a cart. But the Eagles right now are locked in a battle with the New Orleans Saints. This is a huge game for them right now because the doors open a little bit now. And, you know, we're talking about the Eagles. Is there a Super Bowl hangover? There are injuries. What's going on with them? If somehow they can figure out a way to beat the New Orleans Saints now today, they are right back in the middle of this thing.
Yeah, about the Dallas Cowboys getting a big win today over Atlanta. That was a tough, hard-fought win. About the Giants, though, putting up points, everybody making plays. Odell said last week that we're going to riddle off the next 6 games. I'm not sure if they necessarily can do that. I don't know if they want to do that, but they got the win, and I'll credit them today.
You know, for the Dallas Cowboys, they go into Philadelphia on the road. They go into Atlanta. They get 2 wins. They come back now for 3 home games, and they got a little swagger. And you're talking about a defense, one of the top defenses in the National Football League, and you start getting back to running the football with Ezekiel Elliott, look for the Dallas Cowboys to be in the mix when this thing's all said and done.
They can rush the passer. They got guys up front. Dak Prescott brought them back for the game-winning field goal. That answers a few more questions about Dak Prescott.
That you didn't ask yourself, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't always have to talk to myself. I talk to you every once in a while. You're a pretty good guy.
More to come on the State Farm postgame show.
This is the State Farm postgame show.
We invite you to join us on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, as the NFL on CBS carries on a holiday tradition featuring the Bears taking on the Lions. That is an NFC North matchup. Our coverage begins with a special edition of the NFL Today. That will come your way at noon Eastern right here on CBS. And joining us now at the desk, our NFL Today insider, Jason Lockenfora.
Well, guys, you touched on the Colts offensive line, how well they're playing. Ryan Kelly left that game with a knee injury, MRI tomorrow, so we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. The Redskins obviously know Alex Smith. I'm told they do intend to explore the free agent market. Sam Bradford's out there. I'm not sure they'll go that high end, but they feel like they need to bring a veteran in, so we'll have to monitor that situation. And Marcus Mariota, they say he's okay, but it's an elbow. He's had the hand. He's had the nerve issue. That's something else we'll have to monitor throughout the week. And even if Lamar Jackson didn't do what he did today, guys, I was told very unlikely Joe Flacco will be able to practice the following week. This is a 2 to 3 week situation. So they were going to be rolling with the RPOs and Lamar no matter what. And obviously now they have a bit of a foundation.
All righty, Jason, thank you so much for the update. When we come back, last segment, we'll start it off with Bill Cowher, putting things in perspective as the State Farm postgame show continues.
Stay with me.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. That'll be followed by new episodes of God Friended Me, NCIS Los Angeles, and Madam Secretary. That's tonight only on CBS. Coach, at this part of the season, what's the tag on this? What's important?
Well, I mean, I think you're seeing some separation as you talk about sometimes at the top of the standings of some of these, and talking about Indianapolis is up there right now with Houston. We see Jacksonville. You know, maybe right now that was a huge game for them. I mean, that one of those ones can derail a season. And I think again for a lot of them, it's navigating right now through trying to put together a streak. The reality of having 6 games left, the possibilities are real, they're tangible, and you talk about them in those rooms.
Speaking of those streaks, Andrew Luck is on one of them right now. Since he got in the league, I think we were giving him the crown early, saying he's the next quarterback for future generations to come, and it's been right out of his grasp. But right now, being healthy, having protection is what we have always asked for, and also having playmakers with that protection. They're showing up big. Last week, Eric Ebron gets 3 touchdowns. This week, T.Y. Hilton, he goes for $155 and 2 TDs. So I'm looking at Andrew Luck. He's playing at a high level, could be in that MVP conversation.
I think the 2 biggest winners for me today, number 1, Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, and what he did and how he got them now all of a sudden into the 6th spot in the AFC playoff race. They leapfrogged the Cincinnati Bengals. And then I also look at the potential for what the Dallas Cowboys can do now moving forward, especially with the injury to Alex Smith. You know, the Dallas Cowboys, 2 weeks ago, we're talking about Jason Garrett being fired. And all of a sudden, you know, you can't make a call on the whether or not to go for it on 4th down or call timeout or when not to call timeout or when throw the replay flag, all the stuff that he had to deal with over the last 2 weeks. And then they win a hard-fought ball game down in Atlanta. So I think, for me, Baltimore and Dallas are the 2 biggest winners right now as I sit here.
Yeah, I agree. Dallas, I think that Dak Prescott, the way he played on Monday Night Football with such heart and enthusiasm and laid it out there. He did it again today, so that's going to give him great belief. Baltimore is a great story. These races are not even close to being over, and I'm going to call human resources for you guys putting your hands on me.
Hey, are you buying Odell Beckham Jr. saying they can win out?
Maybe.
All right.
Well,
hey, folks, we'll see you on Thanksgiving Day.
No.